my hair look cute like this? I can't really tell. Because I started reading this and I was like, because like, you're a catch. I cannot believe that there aren't more people talking about this book because it's so stinking good. Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori if you're new, and I am so happy and grateful that you are here today. Welcome to my Asian readathon reading vlog. I've already put up my Asian readathon TBR video, so I will link that up above and down below if you are curious. I have like a whole like checklist of things that I want to do during this reading vlog. We're gonna order sushi. I want to make some awesome ramen out of this ramen cookbook that I've been cooking through, and it has taught me like the best ramen secrets to make amazing ramen. I'm going to be starting this readathon with Death by Dumpling by Vivian Shin on my Kindle. This is like a cozy mystery and it's on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have Kindle Unlimited, there's like a romance in it, and then there's that cozy mystery aspect, and it's a whole series, and they're relatively short. I know that this one is about 350 pages, so I figured it's a good one to start off with because who doesn't love like a quick fun book to start a readathon off with. Death by Dumpling is fulfilling the prompt, a book written by an Asian author. The easiest prompt of this entire readathon. And then Death Note Volume 3 is fulfilling the prompt, a book written by an Asian author that has a universe you want to experience / a very different universe from your own. So yeah. I've really been enjoying the Death Note mangas, and I just like to read them on my iPad because I've been renting them. Is that what you call it? Renting them from my Libby app? Borrowing them from my Libby app? Yeah, that's a better word. I like reading them on my iPad. I could technically read them on my Kindle as well, but my Kindle is much smaller, and so I just have the Kindle app on my iPad, and it's a bit bigger. That's what we're going to get into. It's gonna be a ton of fun. I hope you grab a snack, a coffee, a water, whatever you need, and let's start the Asian readathon. I am gonna head to the beach right now because I figured, why not? That would be a fun thing to do, and since it's a Friday afternoon, hopefully it's not too packed and I can find parking and it's gonna be a good time. Hi my friends, it is much later now, but I wanted to do a quick update before I started reading again and then went to sleep. So I read up to 35% in Death by Dumpling, and I'm really loving it. I love our main character, and also it's just like such a silly, goofy time. The death has happened, so obviously this is like a murder mystery type deal, but she has some like romance potential with like 2 suitors at this point. And the detective is obviously like much cuter and like more of the crazy option, but then she just had this other like suitor ask her on a date, and she was like, obviously I'm gonna turn him down, and everyone's like, don't, like do it, like go out with him and stuff like that. So there's just like a lot happening so far, and I'm very into it, and it's a lot of fun, so I'm excited to read more. Also, you would have just seen the clip of my boyfriend and I, we got boba tonight before we went to Costco to go grocery shopping, and it just like really hit the spot, and I was like, I need to get boba this week because it's the Asian readathon, so like that's such a vibe and it needs to happen. I'm also gonna try to convince him to get sushi later this week. Comments or thoughts?
We'll see.
It's gonna happen. Hi my friends, quick check-in. I'm about to start reading more of Death by Dumpling. Last night I stayed up way past my bedtime and I read up to like 60%, so I'm going to finish this tonight because I need to. So I have my Pomodoro method like study session that I'm going to use for reading by the Sherry formula. She's so great. If you love aesthetic like study session, Pomodoro style. I love her channel. I think Nikki was the first one who recommended her to me. That's like how I read my books, to be honest. Like, she's just so good. Also, I need to show you guys this one color. She's just so cute. I love her so much. So this is my little whale. She's keeping me company while I read. The updates that I have about Death by Dumpling, I really like it. I really like the characters. The only thing, our main character, and this is in the synopsis, is the one that delivers the dumplings that killed the property manager. And so she has like some ounce of blame in this, like initially, but the detective brings her in for questioning, and it was like, tell me all about the cook. Like, the cook is obviously the one that like put the shrimp in the dumplings to kill the property manager for his like allergic reaction. I was like, how did our main character Lana just get like completely absolved of any blame like right from the beginning? She did nothing to clear her name, and also like they never really considered her as a suspect. And like that was just a little bit questionable to me, because it was like, okay, there should have been something where she should have like cleared her name and then the rest of the story could develop, but like I just thought that was a little bit weird, if you know what I mean. I definitely want to read the other books that are in this series as well. What's so fun is like I have zero idea who the actual like killer is gonna be in the end, because I feel like this author hasn't really given us any concrete like clues for anyone, but rather than getting clues, we're getting a lot of interactions of like, oh, like the property manager like isn't who you thought he was, like he was friends. I hope that you loved seeing my little whaley girl. I love her so much. Also, if you have any ideas for names, please let me know down below. We want something super cute for her because she's just the most adorable thing in the entire world, you know what I mean? So, last night I finished Death by Dumpling. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. It was just a really fun, like, cozy murder mystery book, and I'm really excited to continue with that series. And the ending was really good. And then also last night I finished Death Note Volume 3, which I think has been my favorite volume so far, because we're starting to get much more into the story and things are starting to get much more like complex, and I really like that, because I guess like the first two was really just like setting up the characters, what the Death Note is, and like the conflicts, whereas now it's starting to get much more like in depth. And so I will say the third one has been my favorite so far, but I've decided not to continue rating mangas and graphic novels because it's just so difficult. And I feel like I either give them a 3-star or a 5-star. Like, I don't know, it's just like really hard. So I think I'm just like not gonna rate them from here going forward, but just know that I did really, really enjoy it. The next book that I'm going to read is There's No Such Thing as an Easy Job. I've heard really fabulous things about this book, and it's translated from Japanese. What I realized last night is that there's no chapters per se in this book. It's all each of the jobs that she has. So the first chapter goes from page 1 to page 67 because that's her surveillance job. And then the second chapter is the bus advertising job that goes from page 67 to 147. That's a little difficult for me. I'm very much a person who's like, okay, I'll stop at the next chapter, and it's difficult for me to stop in the middle of a chapter. So that'll be interesting. Also, we got donuts this morning from this Vietnamese shop here in Woodland Hills. I think it was called Heavenly Donuts or Heaven Donuts. Oh my gosh, they are so good. And then you saw me make my coffee with my mug. This mug used to say mood reader, and then the R fell off, so now it says mood eater, but like,
you're not wrong.
I do have to work today. However, I'm gonna get started on this book. We'll see how it goes, and I'll check in later. Happy Asian Readathon week 2. We're in a good mood. We're feeling productive. I can't believe that I've already read 2 books for the Asian Readathon, given one of them was a manga, but it was like almost a 200-page manga. Also beside the point, but my boyfriend hung up my shelves for me yesterday above the bed, and I think that they're so cute. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to put books on either side of that plant, or if I want to put like, get like pictures, like framed pictures, and lean them against the wall, you know what I mean? So that's fun. Also this morning I did my nails. All of these updates not related to the Asian Readathon. However, this is. So I finished the first like section of this book, which was her surveillance job, and it was really interesting. I have been, I guess I would say like reading it a little bit slower, because I have been highlighting and tabbing just a couple quotes, because I knew going into this that there was going to be a lot of like relatable quotes. And in the beginning she was talking about how she worked at a corporate job and she experienced like major burnout, and so she ended up resigning from her role, and she took some time to just like recover. That's like so relatable. The couple highlights, the first one was, I'd left my last job because it sucked up every scrap of energy I had until there was not a shred left. But at the same time, I sensed that hanging around doing nothing forever probably wasn't the answer either. I just thought that that was really relatable. Then the second one was, once I got started on this job's bad points, I could have gone on forever, but of course it had its perks too. For example, the amount of time I had to spend talking to my colleagues was extremely minimal. Yeah, relatable. There's some days I'm like, please don't talk to me. I just don't want to talk to anyone. And then the last one was, what a wretched life I led. And yes, I knew, of course, I knew that there were innumerable things in the world incomparably much harder and more terrible than what I was going through right then. But just for that moment, I wanted permission to crank my unhappiness gauge to the max. Give yourself permission to feel like shit sometimes. Like, it's okay. You don't have to be a positive Polly all the stinking time. So this was really good. The one thing that I will say, if you're interested in picking this book up, I really enjoy books that kind of show the mundane, like day-to-day life. Like, I think of this one and I think of Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Of course, Before the Coffee Gets Cold has some kind of like magical element to it because it's a magical coffee shop, but it does show like very mundane day-to-day type things, and I think that's why some people don't love Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This is a similar writing style. So yeah, really enjoying it so far. The next section is her bus advertising job, so we'll see how that goes. Hello, my friends. I do apologize if you can hear Jameson eating his dinner in the background. Update, but not reading related. I just got a poke bowl from my favorite place. It's called Sweetfin, and it's literally the cutest thing ever because, like, you're a cat. And I got a spicy tuna bowl. They're so stinking good. I love poke bowls and like sushi so stinking much, but theirs is so good. So it's spicy tuna, cauliflower rice, crunchy onions on the top with like marinated cucumbers and avocado and edamame. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to eat this. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of struggling with this book right now. So I'm on page 123, so I'm about like a third of the way through this book, and I thought that we were going to get more like relatable quotes. Like the first couple that I read to you in the beginning, I was like, wow, that's really relatable. But like since then, like she's changed into a different job and it's going through like, again, like the day to day. There wasn't enough of a connection to the main character with the first job that now that she's just like talking about the second job and like the day to day, I'm like, I don't really care. Like it is dragging and I cannot get motivated to continue to pick up this book. Like even just reading, I think I read like 40 more pages before I picked up the vlog and like wanted to update. It is just dragging. So I think I'm going to switch at this point to, I requested a hold for The Keeper of the Night, but it's about 2 weeks out. So I guess I'm gonna switch to Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sulin Tan. I'm very excited for this book. It's just quite long. If you can tell, I'm very distressed. Like I really don't want to DNF this, but I'm just really not loving it. So yeah, I think I am gonna switch to Daughter of the Moon Goddess. This will be interesting because I don't typically love to read 2 fantasy books at the same time, and I'm currently in the middle of A Court of Silver Flames and I'm filming a reading vlog for this, but they're so different that like I don't think it's not gonna be like confusing by any means. They're just so different like emotionally that I don't know if that contrast is gonna impact like how I like this book. I'm thinking a lot about this right now, obviously, but that's my update, I guess. It has been probably like a week since I've updated this vlog. However, I have to give a reading update for The Keeper of the Night. I started it today. I'm 2% of the way through this book. Like I literally just started this book. I started reading it when I was getting my nails done. This book is going so hard. I'm like shocked at this book. So this is the first page, like the first couple lines of the first page. I just have to read this to you because I started reading this and I was like, okay. Late 1800s, London, England. The legend they tell about me goes like this. First, you'll see a streak of silver across the sky, like a comet burning through the fog. Then the clock hands will still halfway between this second and the next. The world will fall silent, and the Reaper will knock 3 times on your bedroom door. Whether you answer or not, death will enter through the light in the keyhole. She will reach down your throat and pull your soul out from deep, deep inside you, like an endless length of rope, and you will die in a world entirely your own. There will be no one but you and the Reaper and her unblinking green eyes. I'm sorry. Just like every human life, souls were unique and beautiful for a single moment, and then they were nothing but dust. Death brought humans fear, and fear made humans interesting. Without death, humans would grow complacent and stale. Even we Reapers would one day surrender to death's scythe. So that's my update. I am going to continue reading this right now, but I literally had to read you those lines because how stunning is this? I'm just gonna read this book so fast. Fingers crossed, because prior to this book, I was feeling very slumpy. I was literally just scrolling on TikTok and I was like, I do not want to pick up a book, but this is bringing me back to life. So I'll update you in a little bit when I have more. Okay, last night I read up to page 120 in Keeper of the Night, and I am loving this book. Like, I don't understand why it only has a 3.7 on Goodreads, so I'm a little bit worried about like what's happening with the ending. However, for what I've read so far, this book is going so hard. I mean, obviously you guys saw how hyped up I was yesterday, but like it's getting even better. So basically our main character, Ren, was forced out of London and she has returned to Japan, and she's half Reaper, which is like the death gods in London, and she's half Shinigami, which, sorry, I said that really weird, Shinigami, which is half Japanese. So she returns to Japan. She finds the, for lack of a better word, like world of the dead. She's seeking like the death god to try to figure out like, I'm half Shinigami, but like, can I go into servitude for you? Like, do you need me to reap souls? Like, what's the deal? And it is so cool. So we haven't met the Japanese death god yet. However, they got into this underworld and it is so creepy, so scary. Like, I'm not even gonna talk about it, but just know that I was reading this last night at like 11 o'clock and I was like, this is so scary in like such a good way. So I am just really, really loving it. I think it's so well done and I cannot wait to keep reading it. So I'm about 30% of the way through the book, and honestly, like, I just want to try to finish it today. I have like 5 hours or something left in the book, but I want to just know what happens. I'm so invested in that story. Hi, lovelies. I wanted to do a super fast update. I haven't read too much more of The Keeper of the Night. Actually, maybe I have. Since the last time I've checked in with you, I've read up to 55%. So I think I'm like over 200 pages into the book and still absolutely loving it. Like, I cannot believe that there aren't more people talking about this book because it's so stinking good. It really dawned on me that this book is reminding me of Demon Slayer. So if you liked Demon Slayer, the anime or the manga, I watched the first season of the anime and I was like, yes, please, I want all of this, but there's only one season out and season 2 isn't getting released until like next year. If you need something to deal with the fact that Demon Slayer isn't going to be out for another year, the TV show, I have to read that manga. Anyways, read The Keeper of the Night. It is so good because she's starting to battle these, I can't remember the Japanese word for it. They're basically Japanese like demon spirits and they are so creepy and the battle scenes are so good. Like, I am living for this book. I need to buy the physical copy. I'm starting to get into this toxic era of I read books on my Kindle or on Kindle Unlimited and then I purchase the, not my hair just like sticking to my face, and then I purchase the physical copy of the book that I just read. We're not gonna talk about it, but like, I need this book. It is so good. And then I just found out that I think that there's a second one. I think it's a duology. Okay, my friends, I have to end this vlog here because this week is so chaotic and it's the last week of May and I have to edit this vlog because it's officially gonna be up the first week of June and this readathon took place in May. I've been doing this vlog for like 3 weeks now. Just know that I've only read like a tiny bit more of Keeper of the Night, but I'm literally obsessed with it. It's like making me so mad that I haven't had time to finish that book because like I need to know what happens. You cannot convince me otherwise. Japan has the scariest like death gods, spirits, like monstery type energy. Japan has the scariest everything. And so any fantasy, any horror, anything that's based in Japan, just know it's going to be so stinking scary. And like those are, hello, do you know me? Like those are my vibes. I am eating it up. I can't get enough. It's going to be a 5-star, like unless something crazy happens in the ending, Keeper of the Night is definitely going to be like a 5-star for me. Knock on wood, because I don't want to jinx that. Also, I bought the hardcover of the book. So it's coming in on Saturday, and hopefully it will be in time, it will come in time for my reading sprints that I'm doing. So, new addition to my channel, we are going to be doing reading sprints every month, once a month, as the last call reading sprints. And it's to help you finish your month strong and either get through and finish the current book that you're on, or maybe like squeeze in like one more book, etc. So that's going to be the last weekend of every month, and they're either going to be on Fridays or Saturdays because those are my days off of work, and it's gonna be such a fun time. Okay, so recap of my TBR and what I actually got to for the Asian readathon. So I read Death by Dumpling for my book written by an Asian author, and I absolutely loved it. And I definitely want to read the second book in that series. And I think the second one is only like 280 pages. So they're so quick, they're so much fun to get through, 100% recommend. Then I had chosen There's No Such Thing as an Easy Job by Kikuko Samura for the prompt featuring an Asian woman or an elder, and I had to DNF it because it was like a slice of life type of book, but it was extremely mundane, and it was just not something that I had the mental capacity to get through at this time. I do want to return to it, so it was a soft DNF because I've heard really good things about it, and people have said that I will like that book, so I will return to that at some point. But unfortunately I got through, I think 100 pages, a little over, maybe like 150, and then I had to put it down because it was just not a vibe at the moment. I have read, for the prompt, has a universe that you want to experience or a universe that's very different from your own. I read Death Note Volume 3. I also ended up reading Death Note Volume 4, so I'm gonna count those 2 for this readathon. I am loving, like, the farther that I get into Death Note, I'm loving the volumes more and more. I feel like Death Note, the first 2 volumes are actually like the weakest, and then as you get into it and you get more involved in the drama and the characters, it's getting so good. And the last prompt that I didn't end up getting to was a book by an Asian author that's highly rated, which I chose Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I ended up reading the first chapter of that book, and it is so gorgeous. Like, I already know from the first chapter, it is so stinking gorgeous. The writing is so beautiful. Like, I know that I'm going to love that book. I think that one is also a 5-star prediction. I just didn't have time to finish The Keeper of the Night and then get to that book, unfortunately, because May has been so chaotic. So that is my final Asian readathon wrap up. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I also leave my other socials linked down below in the description. Leave a comment of a book that really surprised you in May, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, friends.